I slammed the car door shut behind me, the gravel crunching under my sneakers like brittle bones, my backpack slung over one shoulder heavy with textbooks I hadn't cracked open in weeks. Tyler's house loomed ahead, a faded blue colonial in the suburbs of Buffalo, New York, the kind of place that screamed middle-class normalcy. White picket fence, basketball hoops sagging from the garage. But as I trudged up the driveway, heart pounding from the fight I'd just had with my dad about my wasted potential, the front door flew open, and there was Ryan, Tyler's older brother, his eyes wild, face flushed like he'd been running from something inside himself. "Alex," he gasped, grabbing my arm before I could even say hello, yanking me into the shadow of the porch. His grip was iron, desperate. And then, God, I still can't believe it. He crushed his lips against mine, a kiss that tasted like salt and secrets, stealing the air from my lungs and the ground from under my feet. I shoved him back, my palms stinging against his chest, the world tilting as betrayal and confusion crashed over me like Lake Erie's winter waves. "What the hell, Ryan? Tyler's my best friend, your brother." That kiss lingered like a bruise I couldn't see, throbbing every time I glanced at Ryan across the dinner table that night. Tyler, oblivious as ever, shoveled spaghetti into his mouth, rambling about our upcoming history exam, the one I'd come over to cram for, pretending it was just another study session to escape the tension at home. Tyler was my anchor, the straight-arrow jock who'd pulled me through freshman year at the University of Buffalo when I was just a scared kid from a nowhere town in Pennsylvania, questioning everything about myself. We'd bonded over late-night pizza runs and trash-talking the Bills' latest loss, never once hinting at the shadows I carried. Gay in a world that still whispered slurs like prayers, I'd buried it deep, especially around him. He was straight as an arrow, dating cheerleaders, cracking jokes about those fairies in the locker room. But Ryan? Ryan was the wild card, the brooding artist type who dropped out of community college to find himself, always sketching in the corners of the living room, his charcoal-smudged fingers leaving marks on everything they touched. Ryan didn't touch his food. He sat there, fork hovering, his green eyes, so like Tyler's but sharper, haunted, locked on his plate. The porch incident replayed in my head, his breath hot against my skin, the way his hands trembled as they cupped my face, like he was afraid I'd vanish. I'd frozen, not because I hated it, Jesus, no, but because it was wrong. All of it. Tyler was family. And Ryan? He was the forbidden fruit in our Eden, the one who'd always teased me with lingering glances during summer barbecues, his smile a hook in my gut. After dinner, Tyler dragged me to the basement, our study cave littered with empty energy drink cans and faded posters of Kurt Cobain and the Buffalo Sabres. We sprawled on the ratty couch, textbooks open but ignored, trading stories instead. "Dude, remember that party last semester? When Jake outed himself and half the frat bailed?" Tyler laughed, but it was edged, like he was testing the waters. My stomach nodded. Jake had been our mutual friend, the brave one who'd posted that Instagram story with rainbow flags and a caption about living my truth. Tyler had liked it, sure, but then muttered something about it being a phase over beers. I forced a chuckle, flipping a page I hadn't read. Yeah, it took guts. Not everyone can handle that heat. Upstairs, I could hear Ryan moving. Footsteps creaking on the old hardwood, the faint scratch of pencil on paper. Part of me wanted to storm up there, demand answers, but the bigger part, the scared part, kept me glued to the couch. What if he said it meant nothing? Or worse, everything? By midnight, Tyler was snoring, head lolled back, and I slipped upstairs for water, the house silent except for the hum of the fridge. The kitchen light was on, and there was Ryan, leaning against the counter, a half-finished sketch in his lap, a figure that looked suspiciously like me, eyes shadowed, mouth parted in surprise. He looked up, and the air thickened. "Alex, don't." I cut him off, filling my glass with shaking hands. Water sloshed over the rim. That was a mistake. Tyler's right upstairs. We're friends. That's it. His jaw tightened, that artist's intensity flaring. Friends? Is that what you tell yourself every time you look at me like I'm the only one who sees you? He stood, closing the distance, his voice low, raw. "I've watched you, Alex. Hiding. Smiling for Tyler like it's a mask. But I see the cracks. I feel them because I'm cracked too." I backed up, hip bumping the sink. You're his brother. It's betrayal. What if he finds out? You think he'd understand? His own flesh and blood, messing with his best friend. The words tasted bitter, but they were true. Tyler idolized Ryan. Despite the dropout drama, he defended him to their dad, a burly mechanic who called Ryan's art fairy dust bullshit. Family was sacred here, in this Rust Belt town where loyalty was currency and secrets were debts. Ryan's laugh was hollow. Betrayal? Hiding who I am is the real betrayal. To myself. To everyone. He raked a hand through his dark hair, exposing the tattoo on his forearm. A broken chain link, inked in a haze of rebellion after high school. I kissed you because I couldn't nod anymore. You're the first person who's made me want to fight for air, Alex. Not just survive. My chest ached, a storm of want and fear. I'd crushed on Ryan since junior year of high school, when he'd guest-directed our drama club's production of Rent. Ironic, now, and caught me staring during rehearsals. But he was Tyler's brother, off-limits, a line I swore never to cross. I can't, I whispered, fleeing back to the basement, leaving him in the dim light, sketch abandoned like a confession. The next week blurred into routine. Classes at UB, shifts at the campus coffee shop, dodging Dad's calls about getting serious. Tyler and I aced the exam, high-fiving in the quad under gray November skies. But every time Ryan's truck rumbled past, black Ford, bumper stickers peeling, I felt the pull. Texts started. Innocuous at first, Ryan asking about Tyler's game schedule, then slipping in, saw that sketch you liked on Insta. Reminded me of you. I'd delete them, heart racing, but save screenshots like evidence. Thanksgiving loomed, Dad's annual grilling of turkey and interrogations. I begged Tyler for an invite to theirs. Tradition, I said. Mrs. Hargrove welcomed me like a son, but tension simmered. Ryan avoided my eyes during the meal, passing mashed potatoes with fingers that brushed mine once, electric. Later, as Tyler and I tossed a football in the backyard, frost nipping our noses, Ryan emerged from the garage, toolbox in hand, pretending to fix the hoop. Heads up, Tyler yelled, lobbing it high. Ryan caught it one-handed, grinning at me over the arc, a private wink that twisted my insides. That night, snow flurried soft outside, blanketing the suburbs in hush. Tyler crashed early, stuffed with pie, and I wandered the halls, insomnia my old friend. Ryan's door was ajar, lamplight spilling gold. He was at his desk, shirt sleeves rolled up, drawing feverishly. I paused, silhouetted, and he turned. Can't sleep? Not with ghosts. I stepped in, against my better judgment. His room was chaos. Canvases leaning against walls, abstracts of fractured faces and stormy skies, the air thick with turpentine and unspoken words. He set the pencil down. I'm sorry about the kiss. I crossed a line, but his eyes said otherwise, pleading. It wasn't the kiss, I admitted, sinking onto his bed, the quilt rumpled like his thoughts. It's that it felt right. And that's the problem. Tyler, he's straight-laced, Ryan. Catholic guilt runs deep in this house. If he knew. Ryan knelt before me, hands on my knees, gentle. Then we don't tell him. Not yet. Just, let me in, Alex. A little. We talked till dawn, about his failed art school dreams, the closet he'd built brick by brick after their dad found his sketchbook and burned it. About my mom's letters, hidden in my drawer, urging me to be brave, my star. Laughter mixed with tears, and when the sky lightened, he leaned in, not to kiss, but to rest his head on my shoulder. It was intimate, terrifying, a thread weaving us tighter. But secrets fester. A week later, Tyler cornered me after practice. You and Ryan seem tight lately. What's up? His tone was casual, but his eyes narrowed, that protective streak flaring. Just talking art. I lied, sweat beading despite the chill. He's helping with a project. Tyler nodded, but doubt lingered. That night, alone in my dorm, Ryan texted, "Miss your voice." I replied before I could stop. Me too. The affair began, not physical, not yet, but emotional, stolen moments in coffee shops off campus, walks by the Niagara River where the roar drowned our whispers. Ryan opened me like a book, reading my fears aloud, and I traced his scars, the ones no one else saw. Winter deepened. Holidays passed in a blur of eggnog and evasion. Dad showed up unannounced one Sunday, pounding on Tyler's door with a six-pack and grievances. Your grades, Alex. Wasting my money on what? Poetry electives. Tyler mediated, ever the peacemaker, but Ryan hovered in the doorway, silent sentinel. Later, as Dad ranted in the living room about real jobs, Ryan slipped me a note. You're more than his expectations. Meet me at the lake? I went. Delavan Lake, frozen edges glittering under street lamps, the air crisp as fresh paper. He waited on the bench, bundled in a wool coat, thermos of hot cider steaming. We sat close, shoulders touching, sharing stories of Christmases past, his with forced smiles, mine with Mom's ghost. I love you, he said suddenly, the words hanging like frost crystals. My breath caught. Love? It was too soon, too dangerous. But my heart screamed yes. Ryan, we can't. We already are. He turned my face to his, eyes fierce. And then he kissed me again, slower this time, under the stars, the world narrowing to his warmth. It was magic, until headlights pierced the dark, Tyler's truck, idling at the lot's edge. He must have followed me, suspicion gnawing. We sprang apart, but it was too late. The damage was done. Tyler's face in the rearview mirror that night was a mask of thunderclouds, jaws set like he was holding back a storm. He didn't say a word on the drive back, just gripped the wheel until his knuckles blanched, the wipers slapping away flurries that matched the ice in my veins. Ryan had vanished into the shadows, promising to handle it, but as Tyler pulled into the driveway, tires crunching protest, I knew nothing would be handled. Not cleanly. Families like the Hargroves didn't do clean breaks. They splintered, shards embedding deep. Get out. Tyler finally spat, killing the engine. The cab smelled of pine air freshener and betrayal. I fumbled for the door, heart hammering, but he grabbed my sleeve. What the fuck was that, Alex? You and my brother? On the goddamn lake. I opened my mouth, lies tumbling half-formed, studying, late-night talk, but they died on my tongue. Tyler's eyes, those familiar hazel pools, swam with hurt, not just anger. He's gay, isn't he? The word landed like a slap. Laced with disgust, I'd heard him toss at strangers, but never aimed at blood. And you, Jesus, you're in on it. It's not like that, I stammered, hating the whine in my voice. Ryan's. Complicated. And me. Tyler, I've been dealing with this alone. You think it's easy? He recoiled, like I'd confessed to murder. Dealing with what? You're my best friend, man. We share everything. Dorms, road trips, that time I puked after the Bills game. And you couldn't tell me you're. He trailed off, the slur unspoken but heavy. Faggot. Queer. The words echoed from high school hallways, from his own lips in jest. Now they poisoned the air between us. We sat there, engine ticking cool, until he shoved me out. Sleep in the basement. We're done talking tonight. The door to the house stayed locked when I tried it, forcing me to the side entrance, where Mrs. Hargrove found me shivering at dawn, brewing coffee with red-rimmed eyes. She didn't pry, just hugged me tight, her scrubs starched and smelling of hospital antiseptic. Boys and their storms, she murmured. It passes. But it didn't. Ryan emerged later, disheveled, claiming a migraine, avoiding Tyler's glare like shrapnel. Breakfast was a minefield, clinking forks, unspoken accusations. Dad called mid-bite, his voice booming through my phone speaker about holiday plans, oblivious. I let it go to voicemail, appetite gone. School dragged, finals looming like guillotines. Tyler ghosted me, texts unread, seats switched in lecture halls. I buried in notes, caffeine, and Ryan's clandestine calls from the art supply store where he stocked shelves part-time. Give him space, Ryan urged, his voice a bomb over Bluetooth as I trudged through snow to the library. Tyler's processing. He loves you. Us, too much to lose. But love twists under pressure. One night, post-exam relief turning to recklessness, Ryan invited me to his studio, a rented garage space downtown, canvases stacked like accusations. We painted, not each other but the walls, broad strokes of cerulean and crimson, laughing as drips marred our jeans. This is us, he said, smearing ochre across my cheek. Messy but alive. The kiss that followed was inevitable, deepening in the fluorescent hum, his hands framing my face like a masterpiece. We didn't go further, boundaries held by fear and respect, but it was enough to crack me open. I love you too. I whispered against his neck, the admission freeing and terrifying. He held me then, bodies aligned in quiet promise, the world outside forgotten. Until Tyler's text, "We need to talk. Now." My place. Dread pooled as I drove, wipers battling a squall. The house was dark, save the porch light, and Tyler waited inside, not alone. Mr. Hargrove loomed in the armchair, beer in hand, face carved from granite. Ryan was there too, pale, arms crossed like shields. "Dad knows," Tyler said flatly, no preamble. "Found your sketchbook, Ree. The one with Alex's face all over it." Ryan's flinch was visceral. Mr. Hargrove, Big Mike, with his grease-stained hands and Vietnam scars, leaned forward. "Years I put up with your artistic bullshit, boy. Thought it was rebellion. Not this. Perversion." The word dripped venom, eyes flicking to me like I was contagion. "And you, Alex, thought you were a good kid. Tyler's friend. Now you're corrupting my son." I stood frozen, while rising. "Mr. Hargrove, it's not. Save it." He waved me off, turning to Ryan. "Pack your shit. Out by morning. I won't have this under my roof." Tyler shifted, conflicted. "Dad, come on. They're fags, Tyler." The explosion shook the room, bottle slamming the table. Mrs. Hargrove appeared in the doorway, face ashen, but silent, her powerlessness a deeper wound. Ryan met my eyes, apology raw, then bolted upstairs, footsteps echoing defeat. I followed, finding him stuffing clothes into a duffel, tears carving tracks down his cheeks. "This is my fault." I choked, helping fold a shirt that smelled of him, paint and pine. "I should have stopped it." "No." He pulled me close, fierce. "This is freedom's cost. I won't hide anymore. Not for them. Not for anyone." We clung, the house groaning around us, until Tyler knocked, soft, hesitant. "Ree? Alex." His voice cracked. "Dad's calming down. But you gotta go. For now." Ryan nodded, zipping the bag. The goodbye at the door was agony. Tyler's averted gaze. Mrs. Hargrove's whispered, "Call me." Big Mike's back turned in the kitchen. Ryan's truck idled, exhaust clouding the night, and as I hugged him, brief, desperate, I felt the fracture line deepen. He left for his buddy's couch in Rochester, an hour east, promising daily calls. Tyler and I limped through reconciliation, awkward coffees, forced laughs about classes. "I didn't mean to out you," he said one afternoon in the quad, snow melting to slush. "It freaked me. But you're still my bro. Just keep it away from here, yeah?" The caveat stung, but I nodded, grateful for the threat. Lies rebuilt bridges, fragile but standing. Spring thawed the ground, cherry blossoms dusting campus paths, and Ryan's visits became our rhythm. Weekends in his cramped apartment, cooking spaghetti with too much garlic, making love with eyes and whispers, bodies learning each other in tender exploration. No rush, no frenzy, just us, building something real amid the ruins. But secrets breed shadows. Dad visited in May, all bluster and pride at my dean's list letter, but his eyes sharpened over dinner at Tyler's, reinstated normalcy. Heard Ryan's shacked up with some artist crowd. Good riddance. Tyler tensed beside me, for pausing. I swallowed fire, changing the subject to baseball. That night, alone with Tyler, it erupted. "You hate him for this?" I demanded, voice low in the basement. "Your own brother?" Tyler's face crumpled. "I don't hate. I'm scared, Alex. For him. For us. Dad's got that look, like when Mom got sick. He breaks things he can't fix." Vulnerability cracked his armor, and for the first time, I saw the boy beneath, loyal to a fault, terrified of loss. We hugged it out, brothers in arms, but the seed of doubt sprouted. Ryan sensed it during our calls, his voice tightening. "Tyler's pulling away. Because of me?" "No." I lied, hating the taste. "Just family stuff." Summer break hit like a heat wave, Dad shipping me to his 4 real work, construction gigs, calluses forming like walls. Ryan drove down once, parking blocks away, our rendezvous in a dingy motel off I-90, neon buzzing, sheets threadbare, but his touch electric. "Missed you," he breathed, tracing my collarbone. We talked futures, him applying to galleries in NYC, me grad school dreams deferred. "We'll make it," he vowed, but doubt flickered in his eyes. Back home, Tyler's texts grew sparse, excuses piling, Work, girls. Big Mike's influence. I knew, subtle barbs at dinner. That boy's a disgrace. Mrs. Hargrove mediated, inviting Ryan for a tense barbecue, but Tyler bailed last minute, claiming overtime. The rift widened, invisible fault lines. August burned hot, and the call came. Tyler, slurring, from a bar. Alex, need you. Fight with Dad. Bad. I raced over, finding him slumped on the porch, lips split, eye swelling. Big Mike's handiwork. Over Ryan again. He burned Ree's letters. The ones from art school. Said he's dead to us. Rage boiled. I helped Tyler inside, icing his face, Mrs. Hargrove sobbing in the kitchen. He's breaking us all, she whispered. Tyler passed out on the couch, and I sat vigil, phone in hand, texting Ryan. Come home. Please. He arrived at dawn, truck rumbling like judgment. The confrontation was biblical. Ryan storming in, Big Mike rising like a colossus, words flying. Disgrace, unnatural, my house. Tyler woke to chaos, positioning between them. Stop. He's family. But the blow landed, Ryan's fist, connecting with Big Mike's jaw in a crack that silenced the room. Blood welled, and with it, the end. Cops called by a neighbor, Ryan in cuffs for assault, Big Mike pressing charges to teach a lesson. I bailed him out, draining my savings, the precinct's fluorescent hell mirroring my soul. In the parking lot, Ryan shattered. I can't fix this, Alex. I'm poison. You're not. I insisted, holding him as sirens wailed distant. But as we drove away, Tyler's text lit my phone. Choose. Him or us. The choice loomed, a guillotine's edge. The ultimatum hung like humidity in July, thick and suffocating, as Ryan and I holed up in his Rochester crash pad. A third-floor walk-up above a laundromat, the constant whir of dryers a white noise to our unraveling. Tyler's words echoed, him or us. Us. As if I hadn't bled for that brotherhood, shared hangovers and heartbreaks, built a life on late-night confessions that now felt like sandcastles against the tide. Ryan paced the peeling linoleum, cigarette unlit between his fingers, a habit he'd quit for me, now resurrected like a ghost. I can't make you choose, he said, voice gravel from lack of sleep. The charges hung over him like a noose. Misdemeanor assault, plea bargain pending, but Big Mike's stubbornness meant community service, maybe probation. Tyler's scared. Protecting the family image. I get it. I was him once. I pulled him down beside me on the sagging futon, our thighs pressing in silent solidarity. It's not fair. You're his brother. Blood. The word tasted metallic, like the irony of it all. I'd chosen Ryan in my heart months ago, but voicing it? That would sever the last tie to my old self, the Alex who joked about girls to fit in, who swallowed truths to keep the peace. We spent days in limbo, Ryan sketching furiously abstracts of fractured homes, doors ajar, figures fleeing into storms, while I job-hunted, barista gigs and coffee-scented haze, dodging Dad's voicemails about manning up. Mrs. Hargrove called secretly, her voice a lifeline. He's sorry, Alex. Deep down. Give it time. But time was the enemy, eroding us. Tyler's silence stretched, a void where our friendship had been, punctuated by one terse email. Don't come around. Dad's watching. Betrayal festered in the quiet moments. Was Tyler complicit? Had he known about the letters, the burnings, and stayed silent? Or was it fear, that paralyzing American dream of normalcy? 2.5 kids, Sunday barbecues, no complications. I drove to Buffalo once, unannounced, parking down the block from their house like a spy in my own life. Tyler emerged, toolbox in hand, heading to his garage job, looking gaunt, eyes hollow. Our gazes locked across the street. He froze, then turned away, shoulders hunching against the sun. It gutted me. That casual dismissal, the brother I'd defended to my dad, now treating me like debris. Ryan noticed my mood that night, pulling me into a slow dance in the cramped kitchen, radio crooning Springsteen. Thunder Road, ironic anthem of escape. We're building our own family, he murmured, chin on my shoulder. His hands spanned my waist, steady, and for a breath, I believed him. We made plans. Him to NYC for a gallery internship, me transferring credits for a remote psych program. Dreams sketched on napkins, fragile as the takeout we'd shared. But cracks spiderwebbed. Dad showed up at the laundromat one sweltering afternoon, face ruddy from the drive, spotting my name tag on the way to a surprise visit. "What is this?" he barked, gesturing at the steam press, customers milling oblivious. "Slumming it. After I paid for that fancy school." "It's temporary," I muttered, untying my apron, leading him to the alley for privacy. The dumpster reeked of regret. He lit a smoke, eyeing me. "Heard from Tyler. Said you and his brother got mixed up in something. Drugs? Girls?" The euphemism landed soft, but his squint said he suspected worse. My pulse thundered. Lie or truth? "It's Ryan. We're together. Dating." The word felt foreign, bold, a declaration in the August heat. Dad's exhale was a wheeze. "Jesus, Alex. Not this." Disappointment etched deeper than anger, his hand clapping my shoulder, not in comfort, but commiseration, like I'd lost a limb. "Your mother, she'd be heartbroken. Fix it, before it ruins you." He left with a wad of 20s for rent, and a plea: "Come home. Sort yourself out." I burned the cash on art supplies, Ryan's joy at the gesture masking my turmoil. That night, tangled in sheets, his fingers tracing my ribs, I confessed the visit. He stilled, breath warm on my neck. "He'll come around. Or he won't. But I'm not going anywhere." Yet doubt whispered. Tyler's birthday approached, September 15th, our annual ritual of wings and Bill's watch parties. I debated, show up, force the fracture, or let go? Ryan decided for me, booking tickets to a folk festival in Ithaca, diversion, he called it. We drove south, windows down, his playlist of Bon Iver and the Lumineers weaving through hills turning amber. The festival was magic, bonfires crackling, fiddles keening under star-pricked skies, bodies swaying in communal release. We danced, sweat slick, his laugh rare and bright, and in a tinted after-hours jam, he pulled me close, whispering lyrics into my ear like vows. "Ithaca's got nothing on you," he said later, as we lay on a shared blanket, fireflies pulsing like heartbeats. It was our most romantic moment. Vulnerable, unscripted, the world a cocoon of firelight and fiddle echoes. I kissed him then, deep and sure, tasting cider and courage, our silhouettes merging against the flames. Back in Rochester, reality intruded. A letter from the court, Ryan's plea hearing in 2 weeks. Big Mike planned to testify, for the boy's own good. Panic clawed. I called Tyler. Voicemail again. Desperation peaked. I drove to Buffalo under cover of dusk, pounding on his window like a fool in a rom-com. He yanked it open, shirtless, confusion morphing to wariness. "Alex? What the hearing. Ryan needs you. As a brother." Words tumbled, pleas laced with anger. "Dad's testifying against him. You gonna let that happen?" Tyler's face twisted, loyalty at war. "It's complicated. Dad's. He thinks it's tough love." "Tough love? It's hate, Tyler. And you're enabling it." The accusation flew, hot and true. He recoiled, but I pressed. "Remember Jake? You said it took guts. This is guts. Stand up." He slammed the window, but not before I saw the crack. Tears, maybe, or resolve. Days blurred, Ryan prepping statements, me pacing, Dad's silence a void. The hearing dawned gray, courthouse in Lockport a squat brick fortress. We sat front row, Ryan's hand clammy in mine. Big Mike across the aisle, suit ill-fitting, eyes averted. Tyler entered last, slipping in beside his mom, face unreadable. The judge, a stern woman with silver hair, called order. Ryan's public defender painted him as provoked, a son pushed to breaking. Then Big Mike took the stand, voice steady. He attacked me. Unprovoked. This lifestyle of his, it's destroying our family. The words landed like indictments, gasps rippling. Ryan squeezed my hand, knuckles white. Then Tyler rose, hand raised. "Your Honor." The room stilled. He approached the bench, voice trembling but clear. "I need to say something." As his brother. What followed was crucifixion, Tyler detailing the burnings, the slurs, the years of silence. "My dad's a good man, but he's wrong. Ryan's not a threat, he's family. And Alex." He glanced at me, eyes wet. "He's the best friend I almost lost. Because of fear." Big Mike's face drained, protests dying unspoken. The judge leaned forward, compassionate. "Family reconciliation speaks volumes." Charges reduced to disorderly conduct, probation light, community service waived for counseling, mandatory for all. Outside, under drizzling skies, Tyler hugged Ryan first, fierce, apologetic. I'm sorry, bro took me too long. Then me, backslapping like old times. You're stuck with us, weirdo. Big Mike lingered, gruff nod to Ryan. We'll talk. At home. Not forgiveness, but a door cracked. Elation surged, but it was fragile. Dad called that night, voice clipped. Heard about the court. Messy. Come home. We'll figure your situation. Rejection veiled as concern. I hung up, choosing silence. Fall semester started, leaves carpeting paths in crimson confession. Ryan's internship beckoned. NYC, glittering promise, but distance loomed. Tyler and I rebuilt. Beers at the Anchor Bar, wings spicy as our talks. I was a coward, he admitted. Scared it'd change us. But it didn't. Made us stronger. Ryan moved south in October, sublet in Brooklyn, sketches shipping in cardboard veins. Weekends became Amtrak dashes, meet a Penn Station, him waiting with coffee and canvases. Our love deepened in stolen hours, Central Park picnics, his loft smelling of gesso and garlic, nights debating Pollock versus Pollock's demons. But winter whispered warnings. Dad's health scare, a mild heart episode, stress they said, pulled me home for Christmas. Tyler's invite extended to Ryan, tentative family dinner. Big Mike grunted greetings, passing potatoes without comment, but eyes softer. Mrs. Hargrove beamed, toasting new beginnings. Under the table, Ryan's foot nudged mine, anchor in the awkward. After, in the guest room, Ryan and I lay whispering, snow tapping the pane. This could be us, he said. Real. Yet dawn brought fracture. Dad, waiting in the kitchen, face ashen. Saw you too. Last night. No accusation, just weariness. I can't. Accept it. Not yet. But I won't lose you, son. That's my choice. It was progress, begrudging, American in its stoicism. But as I boarded the bus back, phone buzzing with Ryan's love you. Tyler's wings soon? I felt the weight. Love's not a straight line, but a mosaic of men's. Spring bloomed treacherous. Ryan's gallery show, his breakthrough, abstracts of us, veiled in metaphor, drew crowds in Chelsea. I flew down, pride swelling as critics murmured praise. Tyler even Skyped in, toasting virtually. But post-show, champagne fizzing, Ryan pulled me aside, eyes shadowed. There's something. Before we got together, I hooked up. Once. With Tyler's ex, Jake. The world tilted. Jake, the outed friend, the one who'd sparked Tyler's doubts. When? Last summer. Before us. It was nothing. Rebound. Stupid. Ryan's voice cracked. I didn't tell because. Fear. Of losing you. Betrayal bloomed. Hot and sharp. You lied. About everything clean? It was before. I swear. He reached, but I stepped back, the party noise mocking. I fled to the rooftop, city lights blurring through tears. Jake, Tyler's Jake, the ghost between us. Misunderstanding? Or fracture? The choice echoed, sharper now. The rooftop air bit cold, Manhattan's skyline a jagged accusation under sodium glow, as Ryan's confession coiled in my gut like barbed wire. Jake, of all people, the guy who'd cracked Tyler's world, the one whose coming out had forced our handshakes to linger too long, eyes averted in shared shame. Ryan found me there, wind whipping his coat tails, face etched with regret. Alex, please. It was a mistake. One night, before I knew what we could be. I turned, voice steel despite the tremor. Before? You mean when you were still finding yourself? Hooking up with my best friend's ex, then kissing me like I was salvation? The words lashed, drawing blood. His flinch, my heart's fresh wound. Below, party chatter filtered up, oblivious to our unraveling. He sank onto the ledge, head in hands. Jake reached out after Tyler dumped him. Said he needed a friend. It escalated. Booze, loneliness. But it ended there. I blocked him. Swear on everything. Everything. I echoed, bitter. Trust, that fragile American ideal, pledge of allegiance to truth, now shredded. I'd forgiven Tyler's silence, Big Mike's rage, even Dad's distance. But this? A secret laced with our circle, tainting the purity I'd clung to. Did Tyler know? Ryan shook his head. No. And he can't. It'd destroy him, us. The irony burned. More hiding, after all our fights for light. I walked away, hailing a cab to Penn Station, the train north a blur of regret. Texts piled. Ryan's pleas, Tyler's check-in about a Sabres game. I ghosted both, holing in my dorm, psych texts mocking with chapters on attachment theory. Ironic, how bonds break under their own weight. Days stretched to weeks, winter yielding to mud-season thaw. Dad noticed, his calls probing. You sound off, son. That boy's trouble. I deflected, but the seed took. Doubt about Ryan, about us. Was love enough against this baggage? Tyler cornered me at a campus event, frat party thumping bass like a migraine. Heard from Ree, said you fought. Bad. I nodded, beer warm in my fist. Secrets, man. Ones that hit close. He clapped my back, eyes earnest. We all got him. Remember when I covered for you that time with the dean? Your essay on Whitman. Too personal, he said. A grin, but serious undercurrent. Talk to him. Don't let pride win. Wisdom from the jock, life's little ironies. I called Ryan that night, voice steadier. We need space. To process. His silence stretched, then, I get it. But I'm not running. Call when you're ready. The click echoed, a pause not an end. Spring unfolded in fits. Exams crushed. Dad's check-ins warming to invitations. Bring that friend, if you want. Neutral ground. Tyler and I hit reset. Road trip to Niagara Falls. Mist veiling our talks. I almost lost you both, he confessed over Canadian poutine. Falls roaring approval. Won't happen again. Ryan's show reviews trickled in. Praise for raw emotional depth and pride nudge forgiveness. I visited NYC in May, train rattling with nerves. He met me at the platform, tentative hug, his sent home. We walked the high line, rails rusting romantic, talking not Jake, but futures. His loft lease ending, my grad apps pending. I want to build with you, he said, hand in mine. Tourists oblivious. No more shadows. The kiss there, amid wildflowers pushing concrete, was absolution, slow and sure, the city humming benediction. Jake faded to footnote, confessed, and cauterized. Summer hummed promise. Big Mike invited Ryan to a Bills tailgate. Gruff, but present. Beers shared, scores cheered. Tyler mediated, his arm around my shoulders post-touchdown. Family, right? Mrs. Hargrove hosted dinners, recipes from her Irish gran, laughter filling cracks. Dad's concession came gradual, a nod at pride flags on campus during my visit home, a question about that psych book on identity. Not embrace, but curiosity, humanistic inching. Your mother's brave, he said one evening, porch swing creaking. Be like her. Ryan and I planned. Co-op in Buffalo for my final year, his remote freelance. Fall arrived golden, leaves confetti for our commitment. Simple rings, tungsten plain, exchanged by the lake where it began. No vows, just promises whispered over cider. Through the storms. But climax brewed unexpected. October gale, Tyler's engagement announced. To Sarah, the lit major with kind eyes. Party at their house, strings of lights swaying. Big Mike grilling burgers with uncharacteristic smiles. Ryan and I arrived hand in hand. First public here, breaths held. Whispers rippled, neighbors, aunts. But Tyler pulled us into hugs, Sarah beaming, about time. Toasts flowed, but midway, Jake appeared, invited by mutuals, face flushed with uninvited nostalgia. Eyes locked on Ryan, a flicker too long. My stomach nodded, old wounds itching. Later, in the kitchen, Jake cornered him. Missed you. That night. Ryan stiffened, voice low, ancient history. I'm happy. Jake's laugh was acid. With him, Tyler's shadow. He glanced at me, entering for refills, the air thickening. Enough, I said, stepping between. Walk away. But Jake turned to Tyler, across the yard. Hey, Ty, remember me? Your ex who fucked your brother. The yard froze, laughter dying. Tyler's face drained, betrayal dawning slow, then volcanic. What? Chaos erupted. Accusations flying, Big Mike hauling Jake out, Mrs. Hargrove hurting guests. Ryan confessed, voice breaking over the din. Summer, before Alex. Mistake. Tyler's punch missed, landing on the picnic table, splintering wood. You knew? And him, pointing at me, knew too. Hurt layered. Brother's secret, best friend's silence. I found out last fall. I admitted, hands up. We were healing. Didn't want to drag you back. Healing? Tyler roared, eyes wild. You both lied. To my face. He stormed inside, doors slamming echo. The party dissolved, accusations lingering like smoke. Ryan and I drove home in silence, his hand trembling on the gear shift. I should have told him first, he whispered. Morning brought reckoning. Tyler at our door, eyes bloodshot, Sarah absent. I need everything. We sat on the stoop, autumn chill biting, spilling truths. The kiss, the love, the hookup stupidity. Tyler listened, fists clenched. Then, you should have trusted me. After all we've been through. I know, Ryan said, voice small. Scared you'd hate me more. Tyler exhaled, long and ragged. I don't hate. I'm pissed. Hurt. But you're my brother. And Alex, you're irreplaceable. He stood, hugging us both, fierce, forgiving. No more secrets. Ever. Big Mike's call followed. Gruff apology for Jake's scene, invitation to clear the air. Dad, hearing via grapevine, showed up unannounced. First time meeting Ryan officially. Awkward handshakes in the living room. Coffee steaming, awkward peace. Treat him right, Dad told Ryan. Nod to me. Proud, son. Finally. Winter wrap gentle. Holidays blended. Hargrove turkey, Dad's ham. Tables groaning unity. Ryan's gallery offer, full-time in Buffalo, sealed it. Spring wedding for Tyler. Us as best men, vows echoing our own quiet ones. Years folded. My practice starting, counseling kids like us, hidden hurts aired. Ryan's exhibits, abstracts of mended fractures. Tyler's family grew, playdates with our uncles. Dad softened, pride flags on his porch by 2030. Big Mike passed in 32. Peaceful, Ryan at bedside, forgiveness sealed. We didn't get fairy tale, we got human, flawed, fierce, enduring. On our 10th anniversary, back at the lake, sunset painting water gold, Ryan knelt. Not proposal, but renewal, still choose you. I pulled him up, foreheads touching, hearts synced. Always. In America's heartland, where storms rage but skies clear, love isn't perfection. It's the choice, daily, to mend what breaks. And in that, we thrived, not despite the pain, but through it, whole.